back, everyone, to Actual English. I'm Jennifer Clyde. It's time for lesson 377. It's time for Winter Wonderland Part 2. Let's focus on best sites to visit when in winter. So, think about locations, places worth visiting, the best places to visit, especially during the winter season in Korea. Which parts of Korea have you been to in the cold winter season? It could have been for, I guess, a short weekend trip. Okay, could have been for a ski trip perhaps. For any reason, have you traveled a lot during the winter? The answer may be a no because people tend to want to stay at home where it's nice and cozy and cuddly and warm instead of going to places when it's cold. But there are definitely places worth visiting in Korea in the winter season. So let's check them out. Let's take a listen to a conversation between Gareth and Kelly. It's time for Actual Talk.
Hey, have you ever been to Onsan? I heard there's a famous hot spring there and it's chilly, so I'm looking for some relief.
I've been there, but I've been to Chinan Ginseng Spa.
Ginseng Spa?
Yeah, which is just amazing. It's very invigorating and there's lots of different beautiful rooms, very relaxing rooms, so quiet you could hear a pin drop in some of them. It's beautiful, yeah.
So is this a hot spring?
It is a hot spring, yeah, indoor and outdoor.
Wow.
And we went in the winter. It was freezing outside, but then really warm baths up on the roof with beautiful views of nature and just, breathtaking stuff, picture postcard stuff.
Wow, I know that some other countries have famous hot springs, but I'm really looking forward to going to one in Korea. Let me ask you something. Are people nude in them?
Not in Korea, no. In Japan, yes. But those rooms are kind of private. Yeah.
I'll stick to Korea.
Yeah. Well, Canada, is there?
No, we don't have hot springs. We I guess we're more into our sports and Canada's very cold, so we actually move indoors. And one thing I like about Korea is you don't have to do that. It's cold, but you can appreciate the cold and its briskness without heading inside and worrying about frostbite.
Absolutely. Same in Ireland, yeah. So, but here you can walk outside and yeah.
Dobongsan, I recently visited, and I would absolutely go back there, regardless of the temperature. Yeah.
Nice. And Sorak Mountain is great as well.
They're just so, the Buddhist presence, they're just so beautiful.
They are.
Yeah, this is a fortunate country.
Absolutely.
Four seasons.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the conversation between Gareth and Kelly once again. Now, these two were talking about some great places, or perhaps the best places to visit in the winter. Where? In Korea. They did talk about hot springs, of course. Hot springs are great to go to any time of the year, but I find them especially, nice during the winter season because, as Gareth explained to us, it's very cold outside. So you may run outside, feel the very coldness, right? The briskness of the winter air, and then jump into those hot tubs, and it's so refreshing and relieving. It's a very, very nice feeling. So you ought to try it or check it out if you have not been to a hot spring in the winter. Okay, you'll love it. You really will. Anyhow, let's take a look at what they've talked about. Here we go. Kelly begins by saying, hey, have you ever been to Ansan? Don't know exactly why, but she talks about Ansan of many other places. She says, I heard there was a famous hot spring there. There we go. A famous hot spring. Where? In Ansan. That's why she's brought up Ansan. It's chilly, meaning it's pretty cold. Okay, we're talking about the weather these days. It's winter, so the weather is chilly, it's cold. So I'm looking for some relief. A place I can go for relief. Here we go. Gareth says, I haven't been there, but I've been to Chinan Ginseng Spa. So he's saying I have not been to Ansan, but I've been where? To Chinan Ginseng Spa. Okay. Spa, you may wonder, what is the difference between a spa and a hot spring? Well, hot spring, it's usually we're talking about just outdoor hot springs or even indoor hot springs, usually outdoors. We're talking about the very natural atmosphere with tubs, with hot water. Okay, a spa could be a fancy or luxurious place where you may get a massage, enjoy a nice bath, go into the sauna, okay? But many spas or hot springs do have, massage treatments. So he's mentioning having been to Jinan Ginseng Spa. Now, Kelly asks, ginseng spa? And he tells us what it's like. It's very invigorating. If you say that something is invigorating, you're saying that it somehow gives you energy, okay? Like a boost of energy. It makes you feel more energy. So it's very invigorating. And there are lots of different beautiful rooms, okay? Now, these rooms are very relaxing rooms, he says. It's so quiet, you could hear a pin drop in some of them. So he's talking about what? Some of them meaning rooms. Now these rooms are very, very relaxing. Why are they relaxing? Because they're very quiet. Some of these rooms are very beautiful, he says, but it is so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. Now, this could be said in any situation where you want to emphasize or stress the quietness of the area, okay? So, you could hear a pin drop. Basically means that it's extremely quiet, okay? And then she moves on by asking, so is this a hot spring? Is the spa you're talking about, this Jinan Ginseng Spa, is it a hot spring? He says it is a hot spring, indoor and outdoor. Okay, so we're not only talking about an outdoor hot spring, but an indoor hot spring as well. We went in the winter. It was freezing outside. It was freezing cold outside, but the warm baths up on the roof with beautiful views of nature are breathtaking stuff. Picture postcard stuff. Okay, let's take a look at this long sentence over here and then break it up. It was freezing outside. So up till this point, he's talking about the weather, the very cold weather outdoors, outside. But the warm baths, we're talking about the tubs, okay? The warm baths, the warm tubs up on the roof with beautiful views of nature are breathtaking stuff. Picture postcard stuff. Now we've divided up this long sentence into separate parts to help you understand the flow of the sentence. It's easier, right? So it's outside, freezing cold. But these warm tubs, these baths, okay, they are where? Up on the roof, okay? And from there, you have beautiful views of nature. Now, these baths and these views of nature are breathtaking stuff. Picture postcard stuff. Breathtaking means what? It's so beautiful. It's so amazingly beautiful or attractive that it takes your breath away. Breathtaking. It takes your breath away. So you can't breathe. You can't breathe. It's so beautiful. Okay? All right. And it's picture postcard stuff. Picture postcard. Postcards usually with pictures of nature are beautiful, right? So you can also say that something is or some place is or the view is picture postcard. It's beautiful. Well, I'm really looking forward to going to one in Korea. One meaning, of course, hot spring. Are people nude in them? We all know this word. Are they not wearing any clothing? Garrett says, not in Korea, no. So people know they are not naked. They are not nude in Korea. Another way to put it is naked, meaning not covering their bodies. Okay, not wearing any clothing, not wearing anything. But in Japan, he says, yes. But those rooms are kind of private. Okay, maybe not all hot springs, but some in Japan are private. There are rooms that are private and people may have the choice, to choose to be naked or not. Anyhow, Kelly says, I'll stick to Korea. We've gone over this several times as well. Stick to something. Or perhaps stick to someone means what? Okay. If you have been tuning into our program, if you have been watching our program, you may remember what stick to means. Stick to something or stick to someone means to remain faithful to. Especially if you say, I'll stick to doing something. It means that you will continue to do that. Continue to use something. Just think, stick to, continue. Okay? Continue to be faithful to. Stick to, become one with. So, I'll stick to Korea means I'll just stay or stick to. Choose the ones in Korea, the hot springs in Korea where you can wear clothing. What about Canada? Is there, meaning are there hot springs in Canada? No, we don't have hot springs. So no is the answer. We don't have hot springs in Canada. I guess we're more into our sports. So they're more into sports. Very active activities, and Canada's very cold, so we actually move indoors. So it's about staying inside, staying indoors, rather than going outside, okay? Rather than going to places such as outdoor hot springs. Why? Because in Canada it is very, very cold. She says, and one thing I like about Korea is you don't have to do that. Meaning, you do not have to stay indoors. You can go outside and enjoy many outdoor activities. It's cold, but you can appreciate the cold and its briskness. That may be a new word. Without heading inside and worrying about frostbite. So we've got two vocab words for you. Okay. She's talking about Korea. It is cold. The weather is cold in Korea. However, but you can appreciate the cold, meaning the cold weather, and its briskness. Briskness means what? The freshness. If you say, that something is brisk, you're meaning that it's very lively. But especially when you're talking about the weather, you mean that it's very fresh, refreshing. Cool, cold, okay? You may walk outside sometimes and the weather may be very, very cold. The temperature is very low, but sometimes it feels so nice and fresh and cool and, right? You know that feeling. That's what she's talking about. So we're talking about the freshness and cold temperatures. Very nice feeling, briskness. Without heading inside. Heading inside meaning going inside and worrying about frostbite. Frostbite is what? This is basically an injury or damage that's done to any part of your body as a result of severe cold weather, right? So parts of your body may freeze. So that's getting frostbitten. So she says you don't have to worry about that. Anyhow, Garrett says absolutely. Same in Ireland. It is the same in Ireland. 도봉산 I recently visited and I would absolutely go back there. Return. Go back to 도봉산. Visit 도봉산 again, regardless of the temperature. Regardless of something, meaning in spite of, despite everything. So she's saying regardless of the temperature, meaning no matter how cold, how warm, how hot it is, I would love to go back to 도봉산. And Gareth mentioned something about 설악 Mountain. And 설악 Mountain is great as well. It's a great place to visit as well. The Buddhist presence. Presence is like existence. They're just so beautiful. And Gareth agrees. He says, yes, they are big time. Now, big time means what? Big time is usually used if you want to emphasize the importance of something. Okay? The importance or the extent of something that's just happened or that has been mentioned. So if you want to say, yeah, absolutely. If you want to emphasize, stress it, you can say, yep, big time. So he agrees with her 100%. Okay, now that we've gone through the conversation, let's take a listen to today's actual talk one more time.
Hey, have you ever been to Onsan? I hear there's a famous hot spring there and it's chilly, so I'm looking for some relief.
I haven't been there, but I've been to Chinan Ginseng Spa.
Ginseng Spa?
Yeah, which is just amazing. It's very invigorating and there's lots of different beautiful rooms, very relaxing rooms, so quiet you could hear a pin drop in some of them. It's beautiful, yeah.
So is this a hot spring?
It is a hot spring, yeah, indoor and outdoor.
Wow.
And we went in the winter. It was freezing outside, but then really warm baths up on the roof with beautiful views of nature and just, breathtaking stuff, picture postcard stuff.
Wow, I know that some other countries have famous hot springs, but I'm really looking forward to going to one in Korea. Let me ask you something. Are people nude in them?
Not in Korea, no. In Japan, yes. But those rooms are kind of private. Yeah.
I'll stick to Korea.
Yeah. Well, Canada, is there?
No, we don't have hot springs. We I guess we're more into our sports and Canada's very cold, so we actually move indoors. And one thing I like about Korea is you don't have to do that. It's cold, but you can appreciate the cold and its briskness without heading inside and worrying about frostbite.
Absolutely. Same in Ireland, yeah. So, but here you can walk outside and yeah.
Dobongsan, I recently visited, and I would absolutely go back there, regardless of the temperature. Yeah.
Nice. And Sorak Mountain is great as well.
They're just so, the Buddhist presence, they're just so beautiful.
They are.
Yeah, this is a fortunate country.
Absolutely.
Four seasons.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome back everyone. It's time for our next segment, actual expressions. As you see, and as you may already know if you've been tuning in, we're going to take a look at some vocab words taken straight from our actual talk conversation, as well as the phrases and idioms. So first of all, let's take a look at the word invigorating. Invigorating. This is a tricky word to pronounce, so let's pay attention to where the stress goes. Invigorating. One more time. Invigorating. Good job. And it means refreshing. Something that makes you feel more energy, right? So stimulating is another synonym. Okay? Bracing, fresh. Invigorating. Now let's move on to breathtaking. You may already know the definition of breathtaking. It means what? Extremely, amazingly beautiful. Okay? If something is very attractive, it's so beautiful, it takes your breath away. It's breathtaking. It's so wonderful. Okay? It's breathtaking. Some synonyms are amazing, exciting, hair-raising. Now this is informal, but this may be something you might want to use in a casual conversation. If something is so good that it gives you chills, okay, all over your body, you can say, it's hair-raising. It's so good. It's impressive. It's hair-raising. You can also say impressive, as we see. Moving on to briskness. We were talking about the weather. In that case, it means cool, cold, and very fresh, right? So cold, fresh, spiritedness, and in some other cases, it may mean liveliness. Frostbite. You can get frostbitten, and today we talked about frostbite. Not having to worry about frostbite in Korea. So we're talking about frigid conditions, but frostbite itself means freeze, okay? So we're talking about, once again, an injury or damage done to any part of your body, usually the fingertips or fingers or toes, yes, as a result of very, very cold weather, extreme cold. So keep that in mind. Okay, let's take a look at, you could hear a pin drop. We're talking about a very thin, a small pin. So if you drop a pin, would you hear it? Of course, yes, sometimes you will, but in most cases, No, you will not hear the pin drop. It will barely make a sound. So when you see you could hear a pin drop, it means that it is extremely quiet. Here is a sample sentence. The audience kept so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. Okay, we're emphasizing, stressing that it was very, very quiet. Once again, the audience kept so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. The place was extremely quiet. Got it? Okay, moving on to stick to. This means to remain faithful to, or to continue to do something or use something, right? Okay, stick to. Imagine glue, okay? If you put glue on something, you adhere to something. I'll stick to my hamburgers and pizza. Which means what? I'll stick to something. I'll stick to hamburgers and pizza. It means I will continue to eat hamburgers and pizza. Okay? For example, you may go to a restaurant with your friends, and your friends are all ordering healthy foods and salads, and you want hamburgers and pizza. You may know it's not the best choice for your health, but you may say, well, although I know that pizza and hamburgers aren't the healthiest foods, I'll stick to them, meaning I'll just eat my burger and pizza. Okay? Please do practice more on your own and make them yours, everyone.